Ever wondered what a design board is and how to make one to fill a space like this? Stay tuned. Hey there, dudes and dudettes. Todd here from Mtn Quilting and Dude Quilts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about design boards. You hear a lot of folks talking about, how do I make my own design board? What is a design board? Well, a design board is simply an area in which you can pin up a design so that you get an overall view of what it's going to look like. So we're going to walk through that today, and we're going to fill this huge space right here behind me in our home studio with a design board. So let's get started. All right, so before we get started, we got to go over all the things that we're going to need for this project. So there's a few things we're going to need. One is we're going to need some styrofoam insulation. So this is basically a 1/2 inch thick piece of styrofoam. You see it in your home improvement stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, places that like that carry insulation product. That's all this is, very lightweight. This is what we're going to use. We're going to use several panels today for our project. We're also going to be using some adhesive. This is a spray adhesive. You don't have to use this, but I'm going to be using it today to attach my batting to my styrofoam backing. Okay? We're also going to need some tape. In this case, I've got some white duct tape. This is Gorilla tape. You don't have to use anything that strong. I just really like this tape. It's fantastic. It works for this project, and it's in white. And the reason for the color being white, you don't want it to see through or show through the batting too much, right? It's not going to really matter as far as functionality, but it just looks better. We're also going to need a pair of scissors, obviously, and we're going to need a nice marker, or a Sharpie in this case, in order to mark our project and get started. All right, so let's get started with this project. All right, so for this project, this particular project, it's this space up here that we've identified. It's approximately 60 inches wide that we're going to be using. Now, when you're going to purchase your styrofoam or insulation board, this comes in all different sizes, all different shapes, thicknesses. Some come with a silver film over them. Some are green. There's all types of different ones. This one I bought, it has 5 or 6 of these in one pack. And it comes in an entire pack like this. So this works for me. This works for this project. So just adjust accordingly. If you need to cut pieces, you can do that too, okay? But these are already pre-cut for me, which is a beautiful thing, right? Time, I don't have a whole lot of it, so whenever I can take advantage of that, I'm going to. So the first thing we're going to do, folks, is we're going to lay out these pieces on our cutting table here, just like so. Okay? And we're going to try to get them as even as possible. Okay, some of them might not be exactly the same length, so in that case, what you want to do is get at least one edge exactly the way you want it, exactly straight and parallel. That way, if you need to, you can always come back and trim the other side. I think these are going to be fairly equal. I'm not going to have to do much cutting. Okay, all right, there we go. So everything's put together nice and neat. Next, we're going to need our tape. Okay, in this case, I'm using, again, a white duct tape. In this case, it's a Gorilla tape, so it's really strong stuff. You don't need this. Okay, you can use painter's tape. You can use any type of tape in order just to hold these together. All they're doing is they're holding the pieces together to give you enough time to put the batting on. Which, by the way, batting, the reason we want to use batting on this is because fabric sticks to batting, as we all know, right? If you're a quilter or if you're a sewer, you know that fabric automatically sticks in itself to batting, so that's why we use it. Do you have to use batting? No, okay? But in this project, we're going to, all right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to start right here in the center. Let's see, I'm going to put just a few pieces of tape here. Again, make sure your pieces are together. We're going to start in the center, just like so. All right, I want to be as straight as possible. It's not crucial, it's not critical, but hey, if you're going to do it right, right? Do it right the first time. So let me go grab my scissors. All right, I've got my trusty scissors here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this to length.
They're not fabric scissors, are they?
They're not fabric scissors, absolutely not. You know what Melissa would say if I were to use fabric scissors on something like this? Yeah, you all know. So men, you all know, right? All right. So this is cut to length. Okay, just like that. And now I've pretty much got two pieces here put together. I've got to do the other side, but we're going to do that off camera. Okay, so let's continue. I'm going to do a couple more and then we'll come back and I'll show you the completed. So again, put your pieces together nice and tight right here. Okay, you want to make sure that's good and tight. Pull you a nice length of tape. And again, go from the center. Make sure that's down nice and tight. And again, make sure one edge, at least one edge, is where you want it, okay? Beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this to length, just like so. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna continue this process all the way down until you have all, in my case, I have 5 pieces that I'm going to be taping together to create our design board. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll get them all taped up and we'll be right back. All right, and just like that, by the power of TV, we're done. We've got all of our seams taped up, and we only did this, by the way, on one side. We only did one side, and you're going to find out why in just a moment, but I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. When you lay the batting on top of this, these tape marks will really show through your batting. So if that doesn't bother you, go ahead and put your batting on this side and hang it on the wall. Otherwise, you want to flip it over and use the bare side where there's no tape. So I'm not going to tape both sides. You could, it would make it stronger, but it's not going to make it any better as far as hanging it on the wall and using it as a design board. So that's up to you. Today I'm going to be flipping this over and using the other side. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so now I've got all my tape on my styrofoam board and I've went ahead and flipped this over on the other side. And you'll notice, if you look real close, you don't see any of that tape. You can slightly see some lines in here, but it's really slight, okay? So I'm using the side that doesn't have the tape on it because it won't show through on my batting. I've already went ahead and laid my batting on top here and I've cut it to length, okay? So you want to go ahead and do that. You can use either batting that's on the roll, which would be great. It wouldn't have all of these wrinkles and stuff like that in it. We're using it right out of a bag. So we're going to try to go ahead and press this out and get it as smooth as we possibly can. And then we're going to start putting it on and applying adhesive to our actual styrofoam board, backing board. And we're going to use that spray adhesive that I talked about earlier. So let's check that out. Okay, so now it's time to use our spray adhesive right here, and we're going to be gluing down our batting to our backing, okay, the styrofoam material. Now I've already taken the liberty of gluing down this half of it because I'm working by myself. It's easier if you go ahead and glue one side at a time. That way you can roll it down and get all the wrinkles and things that may show up in your batting out, okay? So what I really like about this spray, by the way, is the way it comes out of the nozzle. It doesn't come out real aerosol-y. I don't know if that's a word or not, but it's not real fine mist, okay? It's a real heavy, thick coat that comes out of this, and you'll see it when I demo this. Also, a little caution. When you're using this spray, make sure, especially inside, indoors, make sure you have windows open and you have good ventilation when you're using this. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to also have a mask. I'm not going to be wearing one today, but you should practice that safe caution of using a mask if you want to, okay? But just make sure you do have good ventilation when you're using this product. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll this back very carefully. Just like this. We're going to roll it back just like that. And I'm going to go until I feel it. Let's keep going on that side. Keep going. Haven't got to my stick part yet. There it is. So let's pull that side back. Keep going, keep going. I'll help out here. Melissa's helping me in the background. Pull that edge a little bit there, Melissa, a little bit more. Please pull it like really hard. There you go. All right, good. All right, so now I've got bare styrofoam backer here that I'm going to be using my spray on. Now this stuff dries fairly quickly, but it's not something you really have to rush and try to get your stuff down quickly like super glue or something. All right, so give it a good shake and you're going to see how this stuff comes out. I don't know if it's going to come across on camera or not, but I'm going to give this a really nice coat. Be careful that you don't spray it on your floors or anything like that, so don't go right up to the edge. Don't go over the edge, I should say. I'm spraying this nice and even, giving myself a really nice coat. Again, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area when using this spray, okay? It is pretty strong stuff. Now I'm gonna give this edge a really nice coat, boom. And that's all you need. That's all the spray you need. Give that a second or two to set up, and then we'll roll this over, okay? So we're going to do that right now. So we're going to roll this next piece over.
I'm going to try to help him.
Yeah, Melissa's going to help me from the other side. Okay, and we're going to carefully lay this down. And as you're going, you're smoothing it out. Just like that. Okay. And I'm going a little bit more. And we're going to continue to do this, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end, okay? Okay, now that we've got all of our batting glued down and it's nice and smooth, okay, I think we did a really, really good job getting this down and getting all the wrinkles out. It's fairly good on here where there's not a lot of wrinkles. It looks good. This is ready to be flipped over, and we're going to take these edges, these raw edges that we have all along the side here, and we're going to roll those under and glue those down just like we did the top here, okay? So what we'll do is we're going to flip it over just like so. All right, just like that. We've got our raw edges here on our batting, okay? And I'm going to go around and make sure we have it all smoothed out. Yes. All right, so really all I'm doing, folks, is I'm rolling my raw edge over, okay? I'm using the same method, spray adhesive, and I'm going to be gluing this down. What you're really wanting to look at and watch is your edge here. You want to make sure that stays very crisp. You want to make sure all the excess is pulled around to the back side, okay? Don't stretch it too much, all right? I've seen a lot of folks pull this too much, and what it does, it thins out your batting, and it'll eventually give way and tear on you, okay? So just enough tension to hold that nice and smooth to give you that really nice edge right there, okay? When we get to the corners, okay, let's go over to this corner. When we get to our corners, the way we're going to handle these corners is we're going to be doing a really nice fold, all right? And you really have to make sure, like for us, this is going to be our side. So this is going to be the most visible than the top. So I'm going to want to fold my side in first, okay? Just like so. You see that? Then I'm going to come here with a really nice fold. Just like so. And what that does, it gives you this really nice sharp point here that's going to look super good when you get done. So we're going to go ahead and glue all of this up, and we'll be right back. Okay, so there we go. We got all of our batting glued down to our backing, and you can see that it's awesome. It's great. It's on there perfect, or as perfect as I can get, right? So we got it all stuck there. We got really nice corners on all sides here, and now we are ready to hang it. Okay. All right. So let's talk quickly about hanging this material. There are several ways to hang this. Okay. You can use screws with big flat washers, okay, because a screw would crush this styrofoam very easily. So if you use screws to hang the design board, make sure you use really large washers to account for that pressure and keep the screw from pulling all the way through the material. You could also use a spray adhesive, just like we did with the batting. We glued that down. You can actually spray adhesive directly to your wall, and this will stick right to the wall. All right, so that's another option. You can use 3M Velcro strips to also go ahead and hang this, which is a really great option. I've used that. We've used it in the shop a couple times, and it works really, really well. You could use picture hangers. You could use wire. You could use all kinds of things to hang these up. You could even hang these by clips. So if you didn't want to attach it directly to your wall, you could actually put this up in a temporary fashion just by hanging it with some clips. Take some bulldog clips, put this on the edge here, and you could hang it by a rail or anything like that. So many different ways to apply your design board to your wall. All right, we're going to use a little magic today, and I'm going to hang this sucker with just the flick of a switch, just like this, right? I hope it works. It may not work. You know, I try to do that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think it takes two, but I'm not sure. Or maybe I have to, oh, you know what it is? You got to have a drink of beer before, and then snap the finger. And then this thing will fly up onto the wall. So let's give it a shot. Man, that is so good. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, boom. And just like that, we've got our design board hung. With the magic of TV, there she is. I think it turned out really, really nice. As you can see, we've got it up here nice and straight. It gives us a space in which we can take our designs, our fabric, right? And we can stick it right to our design board, just like so. And it allows us to be able to see exactly what we're doing and what we're designing. So there you go. There's the design board. It's been great. Real easy project, right? Didn't take long. I think I spent maybe an hour and a half or so on this thing, on this size. Of course, the bigger you get, the more intricate it gets, the more time is going to be spent doing it. But have fun doing it, right? Have a beer, have a cigar, have something, right? And enjoy yourself doing this project. So remember, dudes and dudettes, you do you and keep on stitching.